Hello, how you doing?
Yeah, right. Welcome to another episode
Of We've Got This
This
Baby, the podcast. So you got me mid-slurp there.
Oh, sorry.
I sort of wasn't
No,
ready.
timing wasn't quite accurate, was it?
Like I couldn't wait to slurp my drink today. Well, hello and welcome back. Welcome back, everybody. Nice to see ya. How's things? What's going on?
I can't decide what the weather is. Do you know when you're in that mode? I mean, you're in a jumper that looks lush, by the way, like proper hygge vibes. I'm kind of in, is it summer? Is it not?
I feel like we're entering transition now.
Oh, it's so confusing.
We're approaching October and the shops are sort of ready. Like, well, we do have another holiday coming up in a few weeks. So I'm still sort of in my summer vibe. Like,
Yeah,
you're still hanging on. I'm still looking for like my lightweights.
Yeah.
And every time I go into the shop, it's boots, like denim and knitwear.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, I'm not ready yet. I'm not ready.
The big wool coats and the big scarves that kind of take over your head.
I feel like the fashion styles is almost in sync with the school holiday season as well. Like the minute the kids are getting ready to go back to school, which they are now, woohoo! The winter clothes come out because now you're sort of getting ready for the next thing.
Yeah, I totally agree with this. It's really interesting because working in marketing as I do, we have working at a charity. We've got some events near Christmas and in October, blah, 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 charity fundraising, all that, and I was saying to the guys at work, because they're like, no, we haven't sold any tickets. Nobody's signing up. I was like, wait till the kids are back to school. No parent can think about anything else until those kids are back to school.
Yeah.
Once they've gone back, then they'll turn their heads towards what are we going to do for October half term? What are we going to do for, you know what I mean? Like, it's like they can't think of anything else until the kids are back.
Let's hold out for an Indian summer. Let's get through October. Once we get on the Halloween approach, then we'll be in it. Yeah,
I can't wait.
Well, before Halloween, we've got a few more conversations to have, and this one's really interesting. We touched on this like very, very lightly just before we started, and we were both a bit like, oh my goodness, that's such a good one, because we, started to talk about what we're going to talk about, and we thought, oh my God, this is one that could go any which way. So today we're talking about dreams. So dreams that you remember from being a child, the recurrent dreams you have as an adult now, and the dreams our kids are having, which is also really strange, and where it all comes from.
So bizarre, isn't it? And it's interesting, the difference and the similarity. So there's always like that, like you were saying, there's those recurring ones that kind of you revisit and you remember. But then there's other ones where, I don't know if you get this. Do you get the dreams where you're like totally in the moment and you're like, this is living my best life, or this is my living whatever life. And then you wake up and you're like, I remember feeling great or bad or whatever it was, but I have no idea what that was. What was it? What did I dream about?
You always wake up just before like the best bit.
Yeah.
Like the best bit happened. So before we jump into like some of these dreams, like were you ever the sort of person that like followed dreams, looked dreams up, done that sort of research? You were into it?
Obsessed.
Okay.
Book upstairs.
No.
I should have brought it down, actually. We should have had it. But yeah, I was really curious. I think I've always been curious as even from being sort of, I would say early teens, about this kind of stuff and about what it means. Because obviously, everybody goes, oh, that means that this is going to happen.
Yeah.
So yeah, excuse me. But yes, I definitely think it's always been something that's interested me.
So I remember loads of kids at school had like the dream catchers hanging up, and I remember they were really popular when everyone started going on holidays, and like you'd get them from the markets and things like that. And it was probably around that time people started talking about like dreams and like what they meant. But I don't think I really took a huge interest in it at that point. It was a little bit more like around like star signs and astrology for us then.
It's all combined, I think. It's all sort of that realm, isn't it?
So I was literally listening to something the other day, and it was like you can control what you dream about, which...
So I think you can, but you can't. There's certain ones that you can. Have you ever had it when you're kind of like semi-awake in a dream?
Yeah.
Sorry, I've got something back in my throat. But there's dreams where I'm completely immersed and it's like it's real life. and it's like, this is what's happening. But then there's other dreams where I'm like, oh, I'm going to make this happen.
Oh, interesting. So you've got that level of like control. Then this is what I was listening to, that you can manifest things that you want, and you can manifest what you dream about. You just need to like focus on it, and like it's just something that you can control. And I guess like it's so often the dreams that we have, we know where they've come from, but so many are just so bizarre, aren't they?
So random. I think there's been some mine when I was little, there was a couple of recurring dreams that I used to have. One was always that I'd the flying dream, like when something would happen, I would literally do this, and then off I went.
So you'd flap like a bird,
literally flap like a bird, and I'd be like, "This is amazing." I'd have no wings; they would just literally be these little stubby arms. But yeah, flap them like mad, and up I went, and I soared away, and I would like be either running away from something or doing something, and then I'd want to show off, so I'd do a little flying,
But that is almost like a, as you said, like a fantasy dream. So it's not a real life dream.
Yeah. So again, but there was some element of control there that I had over the fact I wanted for this to happen in the dream. So it's like that was the enjoyable side of it. Whereas other dreams, like I had no control, and it was just either horrific or great,
So with the flying dream, I'm just trying to think like what that would be like. What was happening before or after you like set off?
But this is the interesting thing, because you would assume that I'm trying to get away from something, but some of the times it was a fun dream, and it was like I just wanted to like show people my superhuman power, or like whatever it was. But there were dreams where it was like, these people are being mean, or this is happening and I'm going to escape.
Okay.
So it was just, but again, I think that's what you're saying about an element of control. I think I was able to introduce that plot line into the story myself. So I could escape whatever it was, or show off whatever I was doing.
How old would you
be? My goodness. I mean, this was like, probably 9, 10.
Fine. Okay. So not super young.
No, but then at the same time, Erin, I think I've had the flying dream like recently. Like,
well, okay, fine. Well, you could tell us the
different scenarios.
Yeah, tell us that one. Like, I remember like really vividly, and I can't quite remember how young I was, but I must have been fairly young, because my mum was in my dream, and she had really long hair. And my mum didn't have long hair once I was like 7 or 8. It must have been before that. And I remember it to this day. And it always, when I used to think about it, and sometimes even when I think about it now, it gives me that really weird feeling in my chest when I think about the dream. And I don't know, my parents had been doing something. This was in my dream. And I must have gone into their room at night, and they were like in bed, and I went and like sat on my parents' bed, and it was all like really like dark and dreary. And then something happened, and I can't really remember the middle bit, but then my mum had like a metal leg.
Really?
And that was the dream. And then I can't remember the bits around the side enough to articulate it, but I can see it in my head still. Like I can think about it in my head, and I can see the picture that I had at the time, but I can't explain it.
Yeah, and it's so interesting, because obviously dreams are a way of your brain processing either certain feelings, incidents, thoughts, what have you. So your mum having an iron leg, like, what's that stand for?
I know, like, but now, like 30 years later, 28, 30 years later, I can still really vividly remember it.
And you can feel it still.
Like that, like real amazing. Horrible, like, and when I was much younger, I used to get that like feeling in the pit of your stomach over this dream, and I knew it was a dream. I didn't ever think it was true, obviously, but it still gave me that feeling.
But that tells me that it is something to do with you processing something, like whether it is a feeling or an event or an incident that you've been involved in or something like that. To me, if you can feel it physically, that to me is your head trying to process something. So again, who knows?
And the thing is, right, at the time when you're that young, you can't unpick it enough. And now we are obviously looking at it in hindsight and through adult eyes, and we'd be putting our own spin on it. Whereas actually we don't really know what it would have been in the moment. So now I'm like, oh, I really want to know why like that dream was like that.
Oh, yeah. I think there's plenty of times I've woken up. I mean, even now as an adult, I've woken up to dreams and I'm like, what was that? Like, where did that come from? And it's just very bizarre. Like, I don't understand where I get things from. And it's, I don't know, there's part of me kind of going, is someone like feeding this into my brain?
Yeah, the subconscious. And then when you start dreaming and like the most random people pop up in your dream.
Yeah.
Like not anybody that you know, would see day to day, think about day to day, maybe somebody that you went to school with, just all of a sudden randomly pops up.
Oh my God, all the time. I have to say, in my dreams, I am best mates with Dwayne Johnson.
Oh, yeah.
Not as Maui and Moana. Just generally, I was like, honestly, I have had so many dreams when me and Dwayne are just like with his wife and his kids, and we're like Lawrence and the kids, and like we're like.
So it's like a family thing. It's not like a down and dirty with Dwayne Johnson.
No, I'm far too like sad. Not so mine are just like, oh guys, let's all go have some wine on the beach, and it's like, let's go. And then Dwayne comes with like 2 bottles of wine. I'm like, yes,
Is he even like a celebrity or person in the public eye that you'd ever really think about like that?
I do love him as a person. I think he's wicked. I do want to be his friend. So probably that's my way of facilitating the it's never going to happen type of thing. So in my head,
funny. So
my best line.
Tell me this then. Like you spoke about like dreaming about Dwayne Johnson, but have you ever had like a dream? Okay, so from my perspective, maybe not so much now, or maybe once or twice a little while ago with Rory, but when I was younger and you maybe had a boyfriend or something like that, and then you've had a dream about them doing something like nasty to you or cheating on you or doing something with a friend or something like that, and then you just couldn't look them in the eye. You were so angry with them.
Oh, so many times. Well, to be fair, it's not been cheating or anything. That's just been Lawrence being a massive dick. Like I just got really annoyed at him, and I just woke up and I'm like, and I was getting so riled up, and then they're going, Hicks, calm down. It's only a dream. But you can't. I lived with that all day.
You can't shake it.
Yeah.
It's actually like, and you're saying you've done it in my dream. They're like, I can't help that. And it just came to my mind, that one, because for a couple of days this week, Rory has said to me, you were in my dream and you'd done this, or you were in my dream and you'd done that with that person. I'm like, that person? Like, why that person of anyone? Who's like, I don't know.
I have to admit, I've had dreams about me doing like the down and dirty.
Yeah.
More than like Lawrence.
Interesting.
So I've been there going, I can't be doing this. And I wake up genuinely feeling awful.
And those are the dreams that you wake up before the end. Let me go back to sleep. But no,
I generally wake up with so much guilt because I'm like, I wouldn't do that. Why would I do that? That's not me. Why would I do that? Like, especially with exes as well. I'm like, why would I go back there?
Yeah.
Jeez.
That's it. But you can't control it though.
Well, that's it.
Well, we say you can't. Well, you can't. Most of the time, you can't control it unless you are, as some people do, trying to control it.
Yeah.
So, like day to day now, like if you do dream, what sort of dreams are you having, like routinely?
Oh God, that's a good question. I would say that they're most of them tend to be about traveling and about being abroad somewhere. So again, might be escapism.
Yeah.
But it's about being abroad, just having some wine, having some fun, just like chilling. Maybe it's like that's where I want to,
So like a fun dream, like
yeah. I don't really have any bad dreams. It's not something that I regularly have now. You have the odd one, don't you? Everybody does, but I'd say that mine are pretty chill. They're not really what I do wake up with. Do you wake up with like earworms? Do you know what I mean by an earworm?
I don't. I might know of something else.
You know when you've got it in your head, a song.
And right.
You wake up with a song in your head, and you're like, "Where's? I haven't heard that in like 30 years. Where's that from?"
Dreaming about it.
Weird. Yeah, I literally woke up the other day with 4 non-blondes in my head. I was like.
Must have been on in that cocktail bar in the dream. You can have it.
Exactly. Yeah, I was in Coyote Ugly, but the frequency I have earworms is like, I would say irrational. I wake up every day really powerfully with a song in my head all the time.
Wow. And how often would you say you dream?
I would say probably 3 times a week.
Oh, right, okay.
So the point that I can remember I had a dream.
Yeah.
Might not mean that I can remember the dream, but I remember dreaming.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's not always remember the dream, but I remember dreaming.
And for me, I don't know about you, but if I dream, I usually then feel like I've had a really bad night's sleep.
I don't know. It depends. Actually, you know what? You're right. That I think during the week, I feel prepared.
Yeah.
Whereas like at the weekend, I'm like, dude, you dream all you want, you do that.
Yeah.
You know, I've
I'm not
nothing
waking
to get
up
up.
to
Yeah.
alarm. So like for me, I've probably got like 2 types of dreams that I've had like consistently for years and years and years, just in like sort of different scenarios. So one of them was always to do with teeth. So wobbly teeth, losing teeth, something happening to my teeth.
Okay.
That sort of thing. Less so that one now, but the one which has stayed is I'm always going to be late for something. And me as a person is never late for anything.
No, you're not, are you? Yeah.
And I get really funny about that. But in my dreams, it's like no matter what I do, something is getting in my way of being somewhere on time.
Yeah.
Or I'm going to miss something, or I can't get there, or something like that.
Like a fear of disappointment, maybe.
Yeah, and it's not like I'm just like hanging around on the sofa or like just taking my time. It's like something is in the way, and I'm really trying to rush through it, or whatever. And I'm like, I'm going to be late. I'm going to be late.
That's so
yeah, and I just can't get there. Can't get there.
And the thing is, as well, I don't know about you, but like when you think of like, why did I dream that? It's almost like you're trying to connect it to something, but then you're like, I don't know what I was doing last night. Why would I think that? Like, where would it come from? Because you're not ready to record everything, you know.
But I was, again, listening to the same thing that I was listening to the other day. And it was like dreaming is a way of like your brain, like cleansing, like processing and putting it all into...
Yeah, it's filing cabinets.
Yeah.
And the folders.
Which, again, like wild. And one of our really, really early episodes, we spoke about like how we like see the world and like the Matrix theory and all stuff like that. And for me, when I think about brains and how our brains work and that sort of stuff, it is wild. Absolutely wild.
Completely. I mean, I totally agree with that. When I had my first breakdown, I had a treatment called EMDR. Now, that stands for, this is where I'm like, eye movement desensitization something. And the dreams I would have after that treatment were crazy. Like, I was like, am I on hallucinogenics right now?
Wow. Like,
they were batshit crazy.
So what is that treatment for?
So that's for trauma.
Okay.
So that's, yeah, it's for PTSD. So it's trauma. And but the one that really stands out is that I remember dreaming that I was in a, you know, like the bin truck, you know, the dumpster truck. I know it's an American term, but do you know what I mean? And I was in one of them driving it, and we were going up a hill, but then suddenly we were a plane, and we had to go pick up some rubbish from Jamaica. And I'm there going, sorry, what? Like, and I'm going, but I'm not trained to do this. I'm not trained to fly. I'm trained to do the bin truck. Like, it's just honestly. And I woke up like really confused. I was like, what was that?
Like, so you've said like 3 or 4 like dream scenarios now, and they've all got something to do with flying.
They have, haven't they?
Like, even from really early.
Yeah.
Yours have all got something to do with flying.
I need to Google this, don't I?
Whereas like mine, different circumstances, but they all semi-related to like similar things as well.
Well, your teeth.
Yeah, so everyone used to tell me that the teeth thing was because you're going to come into money, and I'll take that. So no, we'll see. But I think the being late one is probably like an anxiety thing.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, fear of disappointment.
Yeah, like
people pleasing.
Yeah, pressure and stuff like that. What are like some other like weird and wonderful dreams that you've maybe had over the years?
Oh dear Lord, I grew a trunk.
what?
Like an elephant?
Yours are so fantasy. Like none of them,
Yeah.
apart from your nice holiday ones,
Yeah.
they're all like really fancy. They're not real life.
Yeah, I turned in. Have you seen what's that song by the Spice Girls where all the little fairies?
Oh, I
Do you know which one I
yeah,
mean?
yeah,
Fever
I do know.
Forever.
Yeah.
I turned into a Spice Girl fairy. I was living my best life. I loved it. I was in Legally Blonde. So I had the dog. I wasn't Elle Woods, but I was like Elle Woods because I was all in pink, and I had the Chihuahua, and I was like in court.
It's all like alter ego sort of stuff for you, like a different character, a different.
Mine are very flamboyant. I'm just, it's where I live my best life in my dreams. Performing, a lot of performing, a lot of, being a superstar, like singer, being able to talk to animals.
Yeah.
Things like that. So yes, all kind of like crazy sort of
all like movie
very Disney-fied.
Like Dr. Dolittle, Blonde,
lots of
Dumbo.
Well, yeah, lots of things I think where the underdog becomes someone. So I think it's all to do with sort of, becoming you, but like it's all to do with like the underdog becoming something, But I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, they were fun, but I've had some pretty dark ones as well. I mean, one of the ones I remember, which is a reoccurring dream that I've had. I don't know if any listeners have had something similar, but I was in a volcano and I was in a cage. This is a bit dark, this one. And I was in one cage and my parents and my family and some of my friends were in another bigger cage. And this evil dude, down on the floor was like, you either save yourself or you save everyone else. And every time without fail, I'd choose me. And I remember vividly, you're saying about having it in the pit of your stomach.
Yeah.
I remember the rush of air of I was stood on like the base of the cage and the trapdoor opening. And I remember the rush of air of me kind of dropping.
Oh, God.
And that's when I'd never see beyond that. I'd always wake up.
Because that is also something that they say as well, is apparently you'll never be able to see yourself die.
Really?
In your dream, or you'll never fall, or you'll never do something like your body. You'll always wake yourself up beforehand.
Yeah. I mean, have you ever woken up crying? Have you ever woken up like in a not in a state, that sounds dramatic, but like in a
I don't think so, but I've had those sort of experiences where you are semi-conscious and you feel like your brain is awake but your body is asleep.
Yeah.
And it's almost like you're trapped.
Yeah, a bit confusing and kind of like
you can't move. It's like it's obviously probably just a few seconds, but it feels like an eternity where I can't remember what it's like, frozen.
Yeah. Well, it's interesting, and again, it's like you say about the brain. It's fascinating that it can genuinely create this, inability or or the feeling of where you genuinely feel this is real life and it's happening.
See, like for me now is because more recently, like Freddie has started to, say in the morning what he's dreamed about. And ever since he was really young, with both of them actually, whenever they've woken up, we've always said, oh, what did you dream about? Because I've always tried to get them to think about what they've dreamt about. So we've always done that. Most of the time they don't say anything. Or sometimes they'll just say, dreamt about you, or dreamt about Polly Bear, like he's Teddy or something like that. Yeah. But then sometimes he'll wake up in the night and he'll be really upset and have a really scary dream. But his seems to be recurrent as well, in the sense that he's always dreaming about being chased by a dog or being bitten by a dog or something like an animal. Yeah.
And what do you think that sort of, what do you think that's, what do you think it's sort of?
So when he first started saying he dreamt about dogs, I think it was around the time he might have like exposed him to a dog, like a friendly dog, like nothing cool. And I thought, that like two and two together, he might have just now be thinking about a dog. But when I did Google it, it said it's in children, like fears of dogs is like anxiety, like that fear, that anxiety, that pressure or something. And I guess for a child, a dog is quite a familiar character. There is some fear instilled with you about dogs. We always say, don't like strange dogs, don't pet a dog until
like anything.
Yeah, so those sort of things. And with children, I think, like, what else are they being exposed to that they could dream about?
Well, I think anything, you can't even know what would impact them. I think we've mentioned this before where, trauma comes from the littlest of things. It doesn't invalidate it if it is a small thing. So again, like, you don't know what they're going to see, do, hear, interact with, where it's going to trigger a dream or trigger a feeling or an emotion to warrant a dream about it or whatever.
Yeah.
It's so interesting because there's so much going on in their lives. Their emotional development at the moment is insane.
Yeah, 100%.
And the things they're having to interact with, counter. I was thinking about it today, like, when they went back to school, like, that's the first time they've had a significant amount of time not at school and then having to go back into a big routine, a heavy routine. Like, that must take its toll on a 5-year-old's little brain. Like, there's so much to it. And then, like, we're telling, right, get up, do this, do that, do. Whereas, like, we're a little bit lenient in the sun, weren't we? We were all a bit, it was a bit lesser than normal. But I mean, God, the way their brains must work, it must be in overtime constantly, trying to figure it all out.
It's one of those things, right? And the next thing that worries me a little bit doesn't run in, like, my family, doesn't run in Royal Town as far as I know. I don't know about yours, but sleepwalking.
Oh God! So we don't have sleepwalking.
No.
One of my friends though has narcolepsy.
Oh wow! Okay.
How he does it, I don't know.
Wow. Like, I remember, like, everyone used to joke about that condition.
Yeah, he actually has it. And I mean, he's got treatment, so he's not, it's not bad, like, what you see in, like, the movies and the comedy shows and stuff. But, like, it generally is, I mean, I guess it's like having any long-term condition, you've got to manage it appropriately so you can kind of have a semi-regular normal life. But, the fact that when he was little, though, when he was at school, he had to have a TA next to him.
Because he just falls asleep.
Because he'd fall asleep. Yeah. And it was kind of like, they just thought he was just really, really tired until he got diagnosed, obviously. But,
that's really sad. And I have a few friends that did do a little bit of sleepwalking, but it was always then made worse if they'd had a drink. And it was funny hearing the story.
I was going to tell me one. Like, I don't.
Oh, I don't know. Like getting up in the middle of the night and walking into a wardrobe, thinking it was the toilet, and going for a wee in the wardrobe.
Oh God.
Like getting undressed, like literally just walking out the house, like just doing, like, wild.
That's scary.
Yeah, wild stuff.
Have the kids ever been asleep and you've been able to talk to them?
No, I don't think so. I have had that thing where you don't know if they're asleep, but you think they're asleep and their eyes are a bit open and you're like, are you asleep?
We've definitely had it, particularly with Maxwell, where he, bless him, so whether it's not sleepwalking, but he was like sleep awake. And he'd get up and go, what time's lunch? And we were like, bedtime, Maxwell, and he'd just come in, and then he's come downstairs before. Yes, okay, sleepwalking, yeah. Came downstairs, stood in the kitchen, and was just like, and he was looking around, and we were like, Maxwell, you okay? Do you need a drink? Are you all right? And he just wasn't responding. He was just like really looking like beyond, And then Lawrence like sort of went, mate, you all right? Maxwell. And it took him touching him, and it kind of brought him around, but then he got really upset because obviously he was scared.
They say
he was little.
Shouldn't wake somebody who's sleepwalking because their heart rhythm's different. You can send them into shock.
Yeah, because honestly, because he was his eyes open.
Yeah.
And, I mean, I don't know about your kids, but, sometimes when they do wake up, they're not with it.
Yeah.
You can't talk to Sophia for the first half hour when she's awake. And we were like, mate, you okay? Maxwell, can you hear us? And because his eyes were fully awake, we just thought he was awake. But yeah, he woke up. When he touched him, he woke up and he was really scared, bless him. He's only had that once or twice, but it's so confusing, isn't it?
Oh, and what about sleep talking?
Oh, God, yes.
What, for you?
No, Lawrence. Oh, my God, that's so funny. Does Rory do it? Do you do it?
So I don't know I do, but So I'm the sort of person, I'm like, I don't snore, I don't sleep twice. And Rory's up, whatever. I think I'm one of those people that are sleeping, like you can't hear a peep out of me. And very occasionally Rory will like sleep talk, or he'll be like, blah, 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 like mumbling. And I'm like, shut up.
I've definitely had really quite amusing moments with both Lawrence and Sophia. I've never heard the boys sleep talk, I don't think. But yes, Sophia said things like, but it's my lolly.
Fine. So evidently she's in the middle of a dream. Yeah.
Yeah, she's definitely in a dream. Lawrence has said things, he's been like, yeah, let's play this tune. Like, because he's a DJ. Or I guess they say he's obviously thinking he's in a gig somewhere. And just things like when he said, what was that? Oh, I can't remember now. But to the point that, because I'm a very light sleeper.
Yeah.
And when he says something, I can hear it. I'll wake up instantly and I'll hear it. And he said something like, babe, just turn the light on. We can't see it's Willie. If we
Stop it. It's like, excuse me, what are you talking about?
I'm going, what? And so I start laughing. I wake myself up and I'm like, oh, God, it's not 3 a.m. Like, I'm laughing, so I can't get myself back to sleep. But yes, there's been some really random ones.
That is a funny, like, occasionally I've woken up like chuckling, like, where
I love that.
in a dream where you're laughing in a dream and then you sort of come round, you're like, ha, 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 ha. Do you know what I mean? They also
love that when you wake
up, I'll be like, oh God, I'm awake.
And when you wake up and you're really embarrassed because you're like, oh man, that was bad.
But my favourite thing about like sleeping, like totally, is where you wake up and you feel like you've had a full night's sleep and it's been like half an hour, 45 minutes, and you've just had like a full sleep cycle, and then you feel so good and you're like, yes, I've still got 6 hours to go.
I love that when you do have loads of hours left. But I think that, sleep cycles are, again, something I really want to learn more about, because I really feel that, like you say, if you've had a proper sleep cycle and you wake up at that sweet spot, oh my God, you could do a 20-hour day.
Yeah.
Like, you've got the energy, you let's go. Whereas because I'm slotting my sleep in, right, get Sophia to bed, do this, do the laundry, right, get myself sorted, and then I'll go to bed. And then I'm getting myself to sleep. And then I'm waking up in the morning. It's like I'm not listening to my rhythm.
Yeah.
So I'm forcing myself awake at maybe through a cycle.
Yeah.
And so I wake up like a zombie. I'm like, oh.
Yeah. Because you got to imagine, if your brain's doing the filing, like the admin work,
yeah.
and then you wake it up halfway through that, it's like you're discombobulated. Like there's files everywhere.
Exactly. Oh, I'll be so pissed.
Like it's not right. And like I can now, like, strangely, so on the weekend I generally wake up at a slightly different time to what I do in the week, but my body seems to know that, so I always seem to wake up a few minutes before, like when my alarm's going off. So it's almost like my brain is like, quickly finish the jobs, finish the chores, put it back in. And then by the time like my alarm goes off, I'm already like semi-conscious, and I'm already like coming to, and then my alarm goes off, I'm like, oh, typical. Or I check my watch and it's like 25 past the time I'm gonna get up, and I'm like, oh, great. Or I'm like, damn it, 4 more minutes.
Well, you see, that's where I benefit from a grey alarm clock, feline type.
Oh, right. I was going to say, what's this new thing getting you to invest in?
This is a 17-year-old grumpy cat who will sit there and literally, she sleeps by my head.
Yeah.
So, our bed, Lawrence says we share it between the three of us because the amount of room she takes.
Yeah.
So she, when I'm asleep, she's here. And she wakes up, meow. And she's literally like, excuse me. Like she's, and then the worst thing is when she licks my nose and I'm like, when you're deep asleep and you get this up my nose. I'm like, oh.
I couldn't. I'm not a touchy person. That. I just don't know how I'd be feeling. The kids have never come into our rooms. We've just not ever really had that. And even sometimes, like you say, Rory will touch me in the morning when he wakes up, and I'm sliding off because I'm just when you're I just still need my own space right now. I'm semi-conscious. Leave me alone.
I my thing is in the morning, if I've been woken up in the middle of a cycle or whatever,
Yeah.
you know, when I'm not particularly with it, my thing is like,
Yeah.
and that's when Lawrence goes, don't touch her, don't talk to her, because she's not in the frame of mind to communicate. So, you know, but yeah, normally I'm like, don't touch me. You know, and poor Sophia, she's like, Mummy, cuddle. And I'm like, no.
Yeah, I'm like, no.
Wait till I've washed my face, clean my teeth, and gone to the toilet. I need to go to the toilet.
Oh, it's so annoying. Or just when like so this is the freak one in our house a lot. So I'm there, eyes shut, and then Rory like leans over me to get something off my bedside table, also check something, and he's like probably leaning over me, and I'm like, go away. Or he's like, is the kids monitor on rotate, or is the door locked? And I'm like, I don't know.
Oh my God, have you seen those memes? Do you go to bed before Rory?
We sort of generally go to bed around the same time most of the time.
So I tend to go to bed beforehand because I am a dreadful sleeper. I always wake up to the slightest of sound, and Lawrence is a mover.
Yeah,
he moves.
I've got friends that do this where like she would go to bed.
I have to be
asleep.
Yes.
Yeah.
Before. Yeah. So sometimes we will go to bed together, but he'll stay up on his phone or read or whatever while I go to sleep. And yeah, he. Oh my goodness. There's times where he'll come to bed, and I have gone to bed first, but I may have got slightly distracted by some sort of social media,
right?
And I have been doom scrolling, and then I can hear him coming up the stairs, and I'm like, quick, put the phone down.
Yeah.
So I pretend to be asleep when he comes in, and I'm like, yeah, so stupid.
Yeah, now you're gonna be awake.
Yeah, because but also I can't be bothered to speak to him. I'm like, I don't want to speak to you right now.
You're just in your sleep zone.
I'm in my sleep zone, so I'm going to pretend to be asleep, even though I'm blatantly awake, and I'll probably be awake after you've fallen asleep now because I haven't got to sleep.
It's funny that, isn't it? Because I'm very much like, once I'm in my sleep zone, like my space, like just chill out. Like,
Can you go to sleep? Can you easily?
Most of the time. I remember like when I was pregnant and just after I had the kids, honestly, I couldn't sleep for anything. It was so bad, like horrible. And even now, like certain points in my cycle, like I know, I can't sleep tonight. And then you get it in your head. But most of the time, because we're in a routine, we don't have like really variable like bedtimes. Mm-hmm. And that's things like with the kids, you give them the structure and then it's much easier to have them like going to sleep and getting up. So generally it's okay.
And I guess as well, if you have a bedtime routine building up to it as well, it kind of that really strengthens that sort of, sleep pattern as well. I've always suffered with insomnia. I think it's to do with my depression and my anxiety that I have to manage. And if the room's not a certain temperature, if my pillow's not a certain way, sounds like I'm the fussiest git on the planet. But honestly, I have to, like, there's a couple of things, sort of, it's a bit of a ritually style of thing. I really struggle to sleep. I really struggle. I don't worry about going to other beds, like, when you go to like a hotel or an Airbnb or go to someone's house, but I don't worry about sleeping in other people's beds, but I know I'm not going to be able to sleep.
Yeah. Oh yeah. That's like me. Like, so sometimes I joke, like, if Roy and I plan to go on a night away or whatever, it's not for me to relax on those sort of trips because I won't be able to sleep, especially for one night. If I'm there a couple of nights, then it'll be fine. But the first night is always out of whack for me. So if we've ever gone somewhere, I've never like woken up feeling refreshed. And even sometimes at home, like I'm the sort of person that if I'm starting to toss and turn, I'll just go and sit down the other end and me and Roy will top and tail.
Oh my God, I do that too.
Yeah.
That was one of my first breakdown. That was one of the big things that the psychologist told me is that if you, with insomnia, one of the things to try once you're feeling that you're ready to go back to sleep is that try at the other end of the bed.
Yeah.
Yeah. I top and tail.
Yeah. So it's like a different feeling, different kind
I do that as well. So I've never heard anybody else do that.
Yeah. Well, on that note, what a good end to our conversation.
Yeah.
And I'd really like to hear actually if anyone else has been having like any similar dreams, because I feel like some of the dreams that we're having, like around anxiety or things that crop up maybe because of things like anxiety or social pressures or things like that, like, are they similar?
Yeah.
What your kids dreaming about, all of those sort of things. So definitely get in touch, drop us a comment.
Yeah, we'd love
leave
to
us
know.
a note and let us know so we can check in.
Let's all diagnose together.
I know, absolutely. And hello to our new subscribers. We've had another flurry, which is so nice to see.
Very
So
exciting.
building our tribe.
Welcome. You're
as you would
all
say.
warmly welcome.
Yeah, and if you are listening and you haven't subscribed, followed, liked, all of that fun stuff, then
All of
please
that
make
jazz.
sure.
Yeah.
please make sure
Tell your mates. Make them come and listen. We'll be here, ready and waiting.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, that was a good one, deep one. I'm going to be going and Googling my dreams now.
I know, yeah, definitely. I think we should.
Yeah, well,
Tuesday,
cheers.
next time.
Yeah.